Trash Talk Radio, coming to you live on MP3 from high on a hill above beautiful Lake Washington. I am LETRO, and with me as always is the Guru.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
And you know how this works. We're here to talk a little trash on the week's worth of sports. I don't know anybody except the Guru, and the Guru knows all.
Man, you know, I know just a little something, man. Just a little something, man.
Guru, it is episode number 56, and we're about halfway through the NFL season. The Chiefs and Rams continue to front run. The Jags are falling apart. The Redskins are atop the NFC least. What? Plus, we're looking ahead to Week 8 as the suddenly scary Ravens take on the Panthers, Aaron Rodgers takes on the Rams, and the Saints and Vikings give us a playoff preview. Then, we've got Pat the Designer from the Windy City The Breeze podcast to talk NBA. Who won that CP3 Rondo fight? Can the Warriors be stopped? And who will win the wide open East? Then, of course, we've got Guru's Week 7 callouts and shoutouts, our Bets with Ben segment with Ben Carey from thecurrencykings.com. We've got a 2-minute drill and a brand new game time. Guru, it is episode number 56.
Let's roll.
Guru, back again on episode number 56, and I'm feeling good, man. How you doing?
Man, I am living the dream. Don't you pinch me, man. Don't you pinch me.
I am riding high still, man. We got the NBA first week going.
Roll riding what?
Riding high, baby. I live in Washington. We got the NBA first week. We got the NFL going. The Eagles lost.
NHL.
The Eagles. The NHL is going.
The Major League Baseball.
The World Series just started.
College basketball finna start. Like everything going on.
And I still got the baby, so I can't watch any of it. But
LETRO made babies. This is when you started making babies around this time last year.
Yeah, right. I remember watching games last year at this time.
Hey, was it did you make I want to know this. Was little LETRO made before, after a loss or after a win?
It can only be a win. It's got to be a win, right? It's got to be a win.
Celebration, baby.
That's right.
Thank goodness Mama LETROs don't watch this show.
I don't remember that specifically. He was born, I know that he was born on the night the Sixers lost to the Lakers because the wife walked by the room where I was watching the game, and I'm like, and she looks in and she goes, I think my water broke, and kept walking. And I'm like, can you give me another minute till this game ends? It's almost over. And she did. So
well, I will tell you that. What a wife. I'll tell you, Mrs. LETRO. She waited patiently.
She did. She
waited patiently.
And then they lost to the Lakers anyway.
That's why you paying for all this with blood. That's why you ain't getting no sleep.
That's why. Dude, none. The kid is crazy. But anyway, Guru, I still got a chance to watch some football this weekend. I got a chance to watch some of the NBA as it went on. I watched a little bit of the World Series. I'm doing my best here to keep up. This is the best time of year. Everything is in full swing. I want to start talking to you about the NFL, though, man.
Ooh.
Really getting into it right now.
The nitty gritty, man.
I know. This week was another really good week of football. We've seen. I gotta say, unlike last season where the games didn't impress me, it didn't get into it. I've really enjoyed watching this season so far. It has been good games all the way around.
Absolutely. Last year I was kind of weird because about you last year when the Eagles were dominating. I
couldn't get into it.
I'm like, well, good for you. And I was just like, look at what's happening in it. Every other people in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, everybody else was just losing their mind.
Well, you know how it is, man. It's that we live out here on the West Coast, and I don't have the direct TV, so I got to watch whatever crap game CBS or Fox decides to show me. And some weeks it's garbage, and there's nothing you can do about it. And last year the games they were showing me were more garbage, and I just couldn't get into it.
Well, you know what I got? I got a mobile device. All that direct. Who watches direct? Who watches TV? Look at this guy.
Old man LETRO. His peasant vision rabbit ears. So Guru, this week we had a bunch of big games this week. Tell me which ones really caught your attention.
Oh man, this week games.
Yeah. We saw.
We know the ultimate. But I'll save that the best for last. What caught my attention. But one thing that really struck me was basically the Ravens game. I like the Ravens New Orleans game.
That was a surprising game going in there. That's a team. The Saints we should have expected. The Ravens are, like I said in the intro, they're like suddenly scary. Like they're coming out like the Ravens used to be, and this was a competitive game.
I think they're just, it's just typical Ravens to me. They're surprising me. They're just like the Seahawks. Their organization is well run, so they're very systematic. So they're gonna put in every game. They're gonna give it their all. It's not going to be a beat down. You're not going to see the Ravens get blown out. It's rare that happens because they're structured, man.
And they're built on defense and have been for 20 years.
Exactly. So it's kind of, I'm not shocked. What shocked me was just Justin Tucker missing the field goal. I've never seen that before. And it's funny, I always mess with my buddies. Like, they were always actually from the D.C. area. Obviously, Baltimore is right down the street. And we always say we have never seen Justin Tucker. In my eyes, I've never watched him miss a field goal, but I saw him miss one, and if you guys, I don't know if the Gurus, if you all go with bets with Ben, and I was going with that was the best thing that ever happened.
Miss that extra point?
Was the extra point, Justin Tucker. So that's why I don't talk about it. Thank you, Justin Tucker. You don't owe me no check. You already paid me, baby.
So now this was kind of an escape for the Saints going forward. What do you think of this team? I mean, the Saints have to be one of the favorites. Now, they got a crazy schedule coming up in the next couple of weeks. Drew Brees, playing like Drew Brees, they look like a team that could make a run. What are you thinking on the Saints now?
Yeah, they are. They're set up to make a run. And we could talk, every week we're going to come probably talk about it. And they're one of the few teams that's up there.
Yeah, 5-1.
Yeah, they can make a run, but I see a little, they can make a run, but there's a deficiency that I see. Man. And we're going to have time to get on that. There's a lot of deficiencies that I'm not ready for.
Okay.
We'll see what happens with the trades and if they're going to make some adjustment. But right now, their secondary is too weak for them to make a serious run. Other teams we could recap that look better than New Orleans to me right now. I could even that's more scary.
Who you got?
So the next team that I actually really like that you might think others might think otherwise, but I think the Redskins, man.
The Redskins. No. All right, let's get into this
I think the Redskins just the way they're stacked up. I think that did you talking about schedule?
I
think they're about to stack up some wins. The NFC East is weak. They already played most of their hard games, and you're gonna see that defense, that D line is an elite, not a top 20, top 5, top 10. No, it's an elite defensive line. That's the number one rush defense in football. Held Zeke to like 50 yards rushing. No running back has averaged or got over 70 yards on the Redskins this year. None. Not a single running back. And I don't see any significant running back doing that this year with the young core. So watch out for that. And obviously, Alex Smith don't make mistake. So I'm really watch out for this team. They are going to be a sneaky team just because everything fell in place.
Well, they've already been a sneaky team. They've upset some people to get there. They are on top of the NFC East.
By 2 games.
No, they're at 4-2. Eagles are at 3-4. So they got the 2 games on the loss side. They're still a game to play. They got a game in hand. But that's still, no one expected the Redskins to be here at this point in the conversation. It was all about, will it be the Eagles, will it be the Cowboys? The Redskins came out of nowhere. Now, there's a lot of football to be played, especially in this division. There's a lot of games left in the division,
yeah. And I think the division, because of the victory over the Cowboys, basically the division has already been set in a sense.
Now, the
Giants are done. We know the Giants are done.
Giants are gone. Yeah, just gone.
And one of the Cowboys are basically one more game of really, they're on the brink. They're next. They're basically on the ropes. The Cowboys on the ropes.
Yeah, that's true, but I think it's more like Jason Garrett's on the ropes. This game, at the end, the Cowboys did a whole bunch of stuff where they could have won. They missed things. There are offsides. There's penalties. They almost threw this game away.
Isn't that the Cowboys?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's sort of their MO.
It's the Cowboys. So everything, it was just a microcosm of the Cowboys. That's exactly what happened here. Close. It was the kick hit the goalpost.
Yeah, hit the goalpost.
Yeah, I mean, just close but no cigar.
But I love that.
And the Skins, you're going to see.
The one thing you guys
like
don't
I said,
know
the
about
way
the
everything
Guru,
is set up.
knows
And
he hates the
and
Cowboys.
they're healthy. And Adrian Peterson. And the Redskins got a top 7 offensive line in football. So, and like I said, most importantly, Alex Smith don't make mistakes.
No, and making mistakes. That's probably what tripped up the Eagles this week. They were up 17-0, and then the Panthers come all the way back on them to win that game in the end. What do you think about the Eagles going forward here?
The Eagles did exactly what your man Andy Reid want to do. In 13 plays, they said it was they had 13 plays in the fourth quarter, and they didn't run the ball once.
Yeah, that's
they
not
didn't run
good.
The ball.
Well, they're missing a big feature back with Jay Ajayi going down. They don't really have a guy that's going to grind out those yards right now.
Yeah, it was more of an organizational structure. Yeah, LeGarrette Blount being gone, so collectively, and does the whole Super Bowl swing. So the Eagles, they're more of a pretender.
Really?
Yeah, they're pretender.
You think they're going to sneak in? Is this the Redskins division to lose?
Redskins. It's the Redskins. The Eagles are the best case scenario, 9-7.
Oh, I don't like to hear that, man. I don't like to hear that.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm all on board then. I'm going to get into that's the time to get on board.
But the good thing is, though, that's the past. Now let's talk about the future.
All right, so let's look ahead to Week 8 because we got some big matchups here in Week 8. We've got which one do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about the Ravens Panthers?
Ravens Panthers.
Okay, talk to me Ravens Panthers.
Ravens Panthers, man. Like, I'm looking forward to this game because this is old school football, man. This is old school knockdown, what they call knockdown drag out. This is what I grew up watching, this type of game. You got the big everything Cam Newton.
Right.
He does the read option, he does pat, whatever. He's just a bully. And then you have the big bad Ravens D led by the ageless one, Terrell Suggs, with the young linebacker C.J. Mosley and the two vets over there safety. So I think it's going to be strength versus strength. And it's going to be one of them 13-10 ball game where you're going to see NFL film, you're going to see blood coming from somebody's nose, like Luke Kuechly type thing. So this is going to be a very, very ugly downright. And honestly, it's going to be one of the most entertaining game of the week. And I see Carolina pulling this.
Even in a low-scoring game, you see this being
13-17 at best, man. It might be a total of 3 touchdowns by both teams combined in this game.
And who do you like coming out of it?
I like the Panthers just because the Panthers is at home. That's the only reason. If the game was in Baltimore, I'd have picked the Ravens.
This seems to me like the kind of game that should almost be it should be snow. They should pump in snow for this game. It seems like the kind of game that you're going to want, the grind out mud. Like, this should be a bad weather game somehow. They should find a way to make it bad weather is what I'm saying on this game. Is that's what I want to say. All right, other Week 8 game. Let's talk about the Packers and the Rams. This is as we're coming into the season, this was a matchup that people were watching. Now that we're here now, it's not really quite what we thought it was going to be, but it's still Aaron Rodgers versus the Rams.
That's what it is. It's still that bad, man. It's just sometimes America, especially the Midwest in America, they love Aaron Rodgers.
Love him.
But how come, like, the so-called Aaron Rodgers could throw a ball through a speeding bullet. He could throw a ball past a Hail Mary from 90 yards backwards. Or he could eat a cheeseburger and do a double check and do a backflip and still throw TDs.
Right. Put it on your hands for 60 yards.
But now, all of a sudden, he's playing against the Rams who are juggernaut. They're like, Aaron Rodgers get a pass?
The undefeated Rams.
Yeah, man. I'm not being candid, but I told you how I feel about the Packers. They're not very good.
No.
I think Aaron Rodgers is the only team. You take Aaron Rodgers out of there, even though I talk about it, you take Aaron Rodgers out of there, they're 5-11 team. They're 5-11 team. They're not very good. And the spread is very high on this game, and I think the game is in L.A. I would give Green Bay a puncher's chance because they had a bye. So, in a sense, I like Green Bay to upset the Rams. Really?
I was going to ask you what Green Bay can do to take this game. You think coming out, you got Aaron Rodgers, arrested Aaron Rodgers. You think that? But now, do you think this is because the Rams are looking past the Packers?
Yes.
Because they got some big games coming up after them, right?
Absolutely. This is what you call one of them TRAP.
It's trap.
Trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Like Admiral Akbar. It's a
trap. And it's the perfect trap game because it's a home trap game. I think the game is in L.A., right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. It's a home trap game. Those guys are running an emotional high. I forgot who L.A. played last week.
It was somebody they beat. It was the 49ers. They went to San Francisco.
They went
39-10.
Emotional high. The funny thing is they've been on the road for the last couple weeks, so now they finally get a home game. So I think they're going to be a little bit high energy. And I think the Packers because of Devontae Adams. They got certain pieces that could cause problems for the Rams. I'm just going to be honest. They have certain pieces.
I figure they got to lose eventually. It might as well be to Aaron Rodgers. You don't want to get tripped up by Blake Bortles or Mitch Trubisky. If you're going to lose to Aaron Rodgers, right?
That's true.
All right. So then the other big game this week, the one that I think is probably one of the more premier matchups this week, is New Orleans Saints at Minnesota Vikings. This is a crazy sort of matchup with Drew Brees and Kirk Cousins and two high flying offenses. A lot of expected of both of these teams. What are you watching in this one?
This is the thing. This is why they paid Kirk Cousins his money.
This is why they paid Kirk Cousins.
This is for games like this. This is why nobody cares about that Bills game. We didn't care about that. Case Keenum can win that game. Teddy Bridgewater can win games. You lose, no cares. This is the game. The first test Kirk made was that Aaron Rodgers game, which he drew a tie. But we saw, we're like, okay, now this game right here, because New Orleans is angry. Oh, New Orleans is coming out here flying high, marching per se. But they're coming here, and what I tell you, they're facing the most complete team in football. And now with Everson Griffin coming back from his little mental breakdown he had for the last few weeks, Everson Griffin coming back to shore up that defensive line. Minnesota is hitting their stride, and I see New Orleans coming into Minnesota, led by Kirk Cousins, and the same result that happened from the playoff will happen again. And I see the Vikings defeating the Saints, and I mean the highest scoring game this season.
Take the over.
It's the highest scoring game. Even if it's a 75-point over, you take it.
Are you seeing this like the playoff game last year, in that it's whoever has the ball last kind of thing? Is that how it's going to go, or is one team going to be able to run away?
No, I think they're both. It's a playoffs game, so I think it's both two elites team. They're two Super Bowl contenders with Super Bowl team to win. So I expect a dog-eat-dog fight. I don't see no Jacksonville. I don't see one team not showing up. I think this is going to be the highest scoring game, and our Baltimore Panthers game might be the lowest scoring game. So we have the best of both pendulum.
So now, Guru, I'm looking at this here, and I see that you put another game on this list to talk about.
That was just a candid. We're not going to talk about that game.
Okay.
We're not going to talk about it because I know you about it. So why are we talking about that game?
Yeah.
Stay tuned because that's a secret game.
All right. We'll check that out on the Instagram. Head on over to Guru's Film Room on Instagram to see him talk about the secret game. All right, Guru.
Saving that for our Midwesterner.
Speaking of our Midwesterner, we got to turn our attention now to our guest, Pat the Designer from the Windy City The Breeze podcast. We're going to talk a little NBA with Pat the Designer from Windy City The Breeze. We're going to get into it here. We get into it a little bit on the big fight and see where each of us come down. So stick around, TTR with Pat the Designer from Windy City The Breeze.
TTR.
Trash Talk Radio back again. Guru, we have a special guest this week. First time on the show, first time caller, long time listener. Pat the Designer coming in from all the way from Chicago. You got to check him out. He has great work on there on YouTube and iTunes at Windy City The Breeze. Check out the podcast at Windy City The Breeze on YouTube and iTunes. Pat the Designer, my man, welcome to the show. Looking good.
Pat, dripping, dripping. I'm Midwest. They always say something about my Midwest, and especially the guys from Chi-Town, man. Those are the pimps,
They're
man.
making us look bad.
The pimps, man.
Hey, bro. Hey, I had to show out, bro. I had to one-up you, Guru. You know I got to one-up you, bro.
Man, I got my Gary V thing going on right now, man. I woke up this morning feel like Gary V. Hey, Gary, send me that check, baby.
I don't think you can.
You ain't getting free content from me,
real
Gary.
Talk, though, Guru. Let's sound like Gary. I just peeped it. Joe, that's crazy.
I look like Gary. He sound like Gary, huh?
Right. Y'all got it.
We're working together on this, man. Working together.
Gary, send that check, baby.
Yeah, we got to get So, Batman, we are here to talk a little bit of NBA with you this week, and we got to start where we got to start with the big brawl that
The
happened.
spit that no one saw but the cameras.
Right, exactly. Super tight up
Hey.
Zapruder film spit, man. So let's just get it out there. Where are you on this?
Team Rondo or
Alright.
Team CP3?
That's a good question. Let's start with it. Start with the basics. Are you Team Rondo or are you Team CP3?
Listen. When the fight first went down, first off, over everything, I'm Team Brandon Ingram. Shout out to sticking up for your boy.
No shit, man. Coming out of nowhere
Shout out
and
to
throwing.
sticking up. Listen,
4
if a
days
group
worth of sticking up
dudes
for
come
it.
around- Listen, if a group of dudes come around my guys and they start swinging and everybody like, oh, he sucker punched him. Listen, there's 12 dudes standing around now. I don't know who throwing punches. I got to get one in. So
And that's,
Brandon Ingram, my spirit animal.
And that's
But-
why Chi-Town is one of the highest murder capital rate in America.
Right.
That is
Okay.
exactly.
All right. Okay, we working on it. Dang.
So let's get back to the actual fight then. Of these two here, what did you see happen? Obviously, you've studied this film like the Zapruder film, like the rest of us, right?
Yeah, this is the thing. As much as I'm Team Brandon Ingram, his push kind of sparked some weird chemistry, and I didn't get his part in it. It seemed like he was mad at the refs more than he was mad at James Harden. So the push sparked everything. Rondo and Chris Paul have had a history for years.
Yeah, man. That's some beef
And
going
it's
back.
just it's like it wasn't at no point was this fight about basketball. It looked like when you was in the schoolyard and you was just like, hey, I heard he said your mama. Oh, word?
Yeah, right?
You know, like it was one of them. And so it was very weird. I was so Team Rondo until I saw the spit.
Oh,
You can't. Hey, listen. You can't. That's the ultimate disrespect to a grown man.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate to any human being.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate disrespect. So I'm not down for none of that. Now, it's coming in, was it intentional? Was it not? Let me tell you, somebody who's worn a mouthpiece, it's really hard to spit with a mouthpiece in your mouth without losing your mouthpiece.
yeah.
So it could have just been John. I don't know. But if you spitting, but now here comes my problem. If a man spit in your face, would you put a finger in his face, or is the swing the next action?
See, the thing about what I saw with CP3, I think he just wanted to sun him, because that's another ultimate respect. It's about one thing swinging because that's manly, but degrading it is taking my one finger right now, just like you don't want me to point at you and put that on your face. That's to me is another level of also. That's why that's why Rondo came with the swing, because I don't care who you are. If you know my baby, you ain't finna put your finger just caressing my face like that, homie.
Right.
I'm with you, man.
Right.
Don't touch my face.
Yeah.
That is an ultimate disrespect on that. I completely agree. And he just pokes him right in the eye and
That's
pushes.
degrading. That's the most degrading. Like, not only am I going to point at you, but I'm going to let my pinky finger just.
Right.
So here's
And
where I
this
am.
is the thing.
Pat, I'm on Team Rondo on this one because as soon as I saw it, I was like, whatever, man. Because I agree. I think spitting is that lowest of the low, right? That is the ultimate like fuck you. You know what I mean? And I think if you're gonna do that, even Rondo knows that, and I think if you're gonna do that, you gotta make it. You know what I mean? You don't just spit on someone like nonchalantly, like la 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 la. That's not disrespecting. If you're gonna spit, you gotta make it count. You gotta. And you're on TV. You're on the floor. Reel back. Like hit him with it. So my view on this is that he doesn't do that. I've watched that Zapruder film. I've watched that close up. I've seen that spittle fly. Something flies. Spittle flies. There's no doubt about that. But as soon as I saw it, I'm like, he's turning away and saying something, and probably something that starts with an F. And the spittle flies. You know what I mean?
I'm going to tell you about this, because the guru got a mother, and good thing my mama don't watch this show, right? So she has a gap. You know what I'm saying? So my mama got a nice, lovely, beautiful gap that she just right in big like Michael Strahan gap.
Right.
So what basically Rondo did was he uses one of them gap spit.
No, give me the mouthpiece on, man.
It was so classy.
Oh, come
That's
on.
what you call a veteran spit. Like, that's what you call, I've been in this game. That's a veteran OG because he knows the camera, everything is there. It's one of them like, psst. Like, I could do that. I just did that right now. But there's no HD right here.
I'm definitely with Guru on this one, bro. Listen, this is the whole thing. Like Guru brought out the finger pointing. Fam, first off, Chris Paul, you've never been in the hood apparently, because if you got the gall to put your finger in somebody's face, but you're not ready for the 2-piece and the biscuit that Brandon Ingram brought, bro, you not ready to fight, bro. Like you made the move to get ready to fight.
This is
not ready.
This is, come on, man. Hey, don't be bringing the South biscuits like that, man.
Well, the other thing I'm gonna say about that is, as a short man myself, I understand a little bit where CP3 is coming from in that one. I'm not swinging at Rondo because he's a little bigger than me, and I may just point. I may stand up on a chair and point at right at his face, but I'm not.
Hold up though, Les though. Would you be more inclined to start the swing if you know there's 6'10" PJ Tucker backing you up?
Yes, I would.
That's all I'm saying. So, you got hitters on your team. Hold up. Let's not distract from the number one thing that I noticed in this fight. James Harden wanted no parts.
No parts. You know what? That is a great observation, because in the past they've given shit to a lot of guys for not being there. What's his name? Lonzo walks away last year. I've heard LeBron get shit because he grabbed CP3 and moved him out of the way. You're goddamn right. James Harden was nowhere to be seen, man.
Did y'all see Lonzo ball?
In this fight, no.
Yeah, I saw what happened.
Well, he got in, right?
No. Lonzo was about 3 steps ahead of Ingram. He saw Ingram sprinting through, and I promise you, I was watching him the whole time, dude. I was watching him, man. He did them little, hey, I know my man Pat light skin. He did a famous light skin move, man. You know, the little like that little one.
It's a difference.
The little 1-2 step. You know, like I think I'm gonna do something, but it really wasn't. All of a sudden he became real slow.
Right.
So my question, my question to
like
you
a
guys,
kicker going for a tackle. Yeah.
My question to you guys: who won the fight, real quick?
Who won the fight? That's a good question.
Who won the fight?
That's easy. Rondo.
Yeah, I agree. He's the only
Rondo.
one. Well,
hey,
now
CP3 did a nice uppercut.
Bro,
I don't know if anybody actually got really hit him.
That uppercut did not phase Rondo. Rondo was still.
It was a nice little uppercut, though, clean, connected.
Hey, yeah, you know what also clean connected? That left hook Rondo gave him, and that right Ingram brought in after. Both of Rondo eyes swollen. That suspension wasn't for nothing but to let them eyes, the swelling on them eyes come down. That's all that suspension was for.
He's at home with a steak on his face at the moment. All right, man. So you guys are Team CP3. I'm Team Rondo on this one. I'm on my own.
No, I'm biased. I'm kind of biased because I'm not a big CP3 guy. Just like what those guys said, I think he's a fraud.
Yeah, and
I know we talked about this off here. I think he's a company man. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no disrespect. Hey, there's nothing wrong with a company man because you need that.
You gotta get that check.
Yeah, but I think he's more of like a mole company man because he's the one I try to be like, hey man, we're cool. But then all of a sudden the bosses and the coaches know everything that goes on. Like he's one of those company men. I don't do that. It's the difference. Like Russell Wilson is a company man. We all know that. He don't like.
Hey,
didn't know
that dude, man.
We know that. Trust me, I know Khalil Mack is still sacking him.
So right now.
You dang right he is.
All right, so let's move on from this. Any final thoughts on this fight before we move on this one, Pat?
You know what? The thing you just got to end it on is if I'm in a dark alley, I want Rondo and Ingram backing me up, man. I don't want CP3 in the fight with me.
I want Ingram on the other side of the alley so we can run in, because that's him coming in out of nowhere is the key to that, I think.
How about I don't want no basketball fight? How about that? From a football guy, how about I don't want to watch a tall, skinny guys with no muscle throw a whole bunch of haymakers that don't hit nothing? Like, why? Who wants to see all that on coordination? Like, what makes you? I want to see you dunk a ball, but that's the most uncoordinated. Like, I always remember the Charles Barkley fight. The basketball players, I'm calling you all out, dude. Because the football, we know. You know what we do? Because we know we can't swing like that either. That's why we at least tackle. You know what I'm saying? We gonna wrap your ass up and get on top of you MMA style.
Hold up, though, Guru. Let's not diss the hoopers, though, because football players throw punches and they wearing helmets.
But we connect punches. Basketball shit is just on court. I don't want to see a 6'9" guy throw a punch. You know how long that is for a basketball? That's the longest telegraph punch ever. Like, you could see the punch coming 2 days before it came.
Guys checking their watch.
Like,
and then
like this, you saw the football. You saw Pac-Man out the damn airport. That's a football player punching. Pac-Man
Pac-Man was getting down.
Come on, man.
Pac-Man was getting down.
That's the difference between a basketball player and a football player when it comes to knocking people out, man.
I'll take a hockey player over all of them any day.
True that.
Yeah.
True that.
Yes. Give me John Scott any day.
All right, so moving on from the fight, then let's talk a little bit more NBA here, because we talked a little bit about this last week as the season got going. We're a week in. It's the greatest time of year. Everybody is a contender except the Nets, and so my question is, who are you taking this year? Because the big question, Pat, seems to be the Warriors or the field. Mm-hmm. So where are you taking this year?
Listen. I'm a Bulls fan at heart, but Boogie Cousins is my favorite player in the NBA. The Warriors adding Boogie Cousins made them the most dominant team, because the only way you could beat the Warriors was, hey, let's get a dominant big man in here. Let's muddy up the waters. Let's make these guys have to drive in. Yeah. Let's press them, make them come in, and then have the big man take care of it. That's i.e. Al Horford, i.e. Rudy Gobert. That's how Utah was really getting into it last year, right? We watched that series, and it was like, oh, snap. Could they really do this? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why that's why the Sixers are building to beat them the same way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The only problem with the Sixers is they have J.J. Redick is their best jump shooter, but they won't put him in the game because they want to make Markelle Fultz work.
Well, it's still early. Don't worry. J.J. will be in there about 15, 20 games in.
It's a long season.
It's a long season.
For the second half.
It's a long season. I'm not saying it's a long season.
For March and April.
Yeah, we got J.J. for when we need him.
Definitely not in October.
Listen, there's no. I mean, if all health is the biggest factor in this, but I'm assuming Boogie's coming back, good knee, good strength. He's already working out. If Boogie Cousins comes back and he is the dominant big man, I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says, he is the best center in the NBA right now. Joel Embiid is nice, but Boogie Cousins can do so much, and he's always engaged, as long as you don't, the refs don't start getting at him like they used to get at Shaq. That is an unstoppable force. There's no one in the West. You can match up piece by piece. Oh, we'll trap Steph here. We'll get Clay here. We got a guy to maybe cover Draymond. But there's nobody in the West that can get everything and cover Boogie Cousins. Because the best comp right now, I would say, would maybe be the Pelicans, which is weird to say.
I was going to ask you about AD.
Season, right? AD may be able to stand in front of Boogie, but neither of them ever really stop each other. We've seen those two go head to head, and those games usually end with point values of like Boogie's got 30, AD's got 32. You know what I'm saying? Like, they never really slow each other down. They just kind of stand there and you see a bunch of block shots. So other than that, and that's a team that doesn't have anything else that can match up with what the Warriors got. So they got AD for Boogie, but nothing else really.
Well, see, that's my question for you, man. Bringing Boogie in, does that blow the rhythm for the Warriors? I mean, is that gonna toss their game? He's not a guy that is that sort of like perimeter shooter, 3-and-D spacing. I mean, he wants to be in under banging. That's not the Warriors' game. Is Boogie going to be able to fit on this team, or is that going to be a problem?
This is the thing with Boogie. Imagine if JaVale McGee could shoot at all. Boogie is not the prototypical big man. Yes, he's kind of a 90s style big man where he's going to get down there, he's going to bang you, right? He's going to push you up out of the way. But at the same time, Boogie's quick of feet. You could put Boogie on a three, and he could stay in front of him. You could put, Boogie's not going to get lost on the deep.
Let's just don't go too far now. Put him on, don't say, like, we're talking about elite threes. No, Boogie don't have a prayer now.
This is the thing. I'm not saying he's going to come in and stop LeBron, but he's not going to be lost in defensive position. And that makes a big difference with big men. A lot of big men, listen, I grew up watching big men like Omer Sheik and Joakim Noah. Joakim had great feet. Omer Sheik tripped over himself trying to run up the court.
You might be too young for Bill Wilmington and Bill Cartwright and all them boys, huh?
I mean, I saw them, but I was kind of at the tail end of all their careers. They was all just old and pissed off all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So who do you think is
You'll
the closest?
get there.
Who do you think is the closest? Like I think I saw something on your IG now. Who do you think is the closest team to beating Golden State? Because what you're telling us right now is Golden State is unbeatable. So who's close? Who do you think will give them a battle?
This is the most interesting thing. Are we talking just the East, or are we talking whole league?
I'm talking whole league. Who's going to trip them up this year? Anybody?
The only team that even has a shot of tripping them up, in my opinion, and this is going to shock y'all, in the West, Utah is putting something together.
I was going to say Utah.
Utah is putting something together because Donovan Mitchell has really come out and shown that he's not just a shooter. He's going to force you to have to drive past him on defense. He's going to play up on you, and he's going to keep up with you. So Steph Curry is going to have to change his game up. Listen, Joe Ingles is hooping.
But how long can that go on? Honest to God, I'm with you on Utah. I think they look great. I think Mitchell had a great season last year. I think he's shown improvement coming this year. I think Utah is going to surprise people and be the number 2, number 3 team in there. But Ingles, he can't keep this up.
You know who Utah is? They're the Portland Trailblazers last year.
Oh, no.
They're not. Portland was 3 seed last year.
Yeah.
They're going to lose in the freaking first round, dude.
All right. In that sense,
that's what I'm saying.
Maybe I'll give you that.
They could still get a good one. They, like you mentioned, I feel you, Utah, but they were a real playoff significant. No, they're really not a significant playoff team, dude.
I think they will be this year, and I think they're going to make a push. I think
best case scenario, they'll be Indiana Pacers. They might take a team to Game 7. We're talking about you. What are we talking about here, man?
Are we talking practice?
We talking about the Jazz? We talking about Jerry Sloan? Who are we talking about?
But his question was, who do I think could trip them up? Listen, all you got to do is have a chip in the chair.
Yeah.
I still think Golden State is finna go out here and give Muggs these buckets.
Dude, put it like this. If on a Wednesday night, Utah, I'll be tripped up too, all right? That's one of them games I don't want to play. But if we're talking about April, you know what I'm saying? And it's game 3, not just another Wednesday night game in Salt Lake. Hey, Salt Lake. Hey, Salt Lake, you're beautiful, baby. Send that check. I'll take all that check in Utah, man. I like salt. I like pepper. I like cinnamon. I like all of that.
I like lakes. I like all of that. Yeah, whatever. All right, Pat, we are...
I like the Windy City breeze. I love it all, baby.
Pat, we are running out of time here on this segment. Before we let you go, who's going to win the East? Let's get that. Who you like coming out of the East this year to lose to the Warriors?
I definitely love Boston coming out of the East this year, man.
Even with what you've seen so far in Toronto, you're sticking with Boston?
This is the thing about Toronto. They have Kawhi Leonard, best player in the East, hands down. There is no question about it.
Yeah, he's really showing it.
But at the end of the day, the rest of that roster does not scare me.
They got a great bench. They got one of the best.
They got a real good bench.
They might be the best bench in the East.
I like Lowry too. I think that guy can play. I think they made the right move keeping him.
Lowry though. That's my biggest difference maker. Lowry's come out in the playoffs, and Lowry will have 2 great games, and then when it really matters, when we need you to close something out for us, Lowry's nowhere to be found. I don't think that changes with Kawhi.
Yeah, that's not wrong.
I know we're dying. I know we're chiming up. Real quick, you're a Chicago guy, and I'm not going to let you get out of here without saying something about the Chicago team. What's up with your Bulls, man?
Listen. And
on that, we are out of time.
That's how we feel about the Bulls. Exactly. Because they're just a joke right now.
All right, Guru, back again. I had to cut him off there on that Bulls. I thought that was the best way to do it.
Yeah, man, he was talking all that bullshit.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, Guru. Our thanks to Pat the Designer once again for joining us here on Trash Talk Radio. I love that kid. That was fantastic. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back here in the second segment. We're going to do the Guru's call-outs and shout-outs from Week 7. We've got our Bets with Ben segment from Ben Carey of thecurrencykings.com. We got a 2-minute drill coming up, and I got a brand new game time for you this week. You ready for it?
Let's get it.
Here we go, Trash Talk Radio.
CTR.